Alright guys, we just got a major warning from the state of Florida. The governor of Florida just made this announcement, and he is issuing a warning for our food supply. He's warning that they are coming after your cows, they're coming after your chickens, they're coming after your animals, and he also said that you should not be eating this type of meat and this type of food, and they are actually banning this and getting rid of it in Florida right now. All right, so this is big. This is a major warning, and this is why I thought it was appropriate. I'm out here live from the coop again, all right, because this is critical. This is what we are working on. Chicks are right here on the roost bar pecking at the computer, okay, and he's saying they're coming for your chickens, they're coming for your cows, they're coming for your animals. That's what the governor of Florida is warning of right now. And this is why we need to push back and say, we do not comply, we do not want this, and we're going to double down, get even more, do even more homesteading, more food, more chickens, more animals, more gardens, more preps, all right, because they are attacking our food supply right now, and that's what the governor of Florida is warning of. So let's get into this news here really quick, guys. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe. It helps to get these warnings out so people know what's going on in our country and with our food supply especially. Look, we got a chick right here on the computer. All right, so hit the like for the chicks. Smash that like button. But you can see here, right, this is the speech that the Florida governor just issued, and he's saying they're coming for our food, they're coming for your animals, and they are banning this stuff as well. And he's saying you shouldn't be eating this garbage, and it's now banned in Florida, and they're trying to ban this stuff in other states as well because they're trying to shut down the cattle industry and the chicken industry with this crap, right? So you can see here, this was the speech that he just gave for the banning of, quote, lab-grown meat inside of Florida. And if you didn't know, this lab-grown meat is actually produced and made with these, quote, immortal cell lines, all right? You can see here they use these immortal cell lines for this lab-grown meat, all right? We will get to more of that in just a second, exactly what this stuff is, but I want you to listen to the governor because this is serious and this is an attack on our food supply, right?
So, but this is the view. So what do they want to do? Well, they want to basically eliminate meat. They want to eliminate cattle. They want to eliminate chickens, all this stuff. And they want to create protein in laboratories. So it's essentially lab-created meat. And their goal is to get to a point where you will not be raising cattle, where you will not be developing meat like we've been doing for hundreds and hundreds of years in the state of Florida. And so it's not just a question of, oh, well, they want to put this out there on the market. If some people like it, they can do it. That's not really what they're going for, because they know if that was put out there to compete with normal beef, that they would lose. So what they want to do is put that out there and then say, well, wait a minute, you can do this in a lab. You don't need to do the cattle. You don't need to do all this. So why don't you just phase that out? That's ultimately the goal. Now, they're not at the point where they're going to be able to execute that today. But I think part of being good stewards of these industries, of the state, of the public well-being, is to think forward and head off threats before they even come. So.
All right, so you heard that there. He's saying that they're trying to get rid of our chickens, and they are eventually going to try to phase this stuff out because they're going to say it's bad. All right, you know what I'm talking about. It's bad for everything. It's bad for the earth to have animals and to farm. All right, that's what they're saying. A lot of these countries have already banned farming, essentially. All right, and they're shutting it down under this mandate. All right, so this stuff's happening. These ideas are spreading, and Florida is saying that they are going to shut it down and not allow these situations to take over the state of Florida, right? And you can see here other states are actually moving to do similar things as well, right? You can see here it says that Alabama, Arizona, and Tennessee are also on the chopping block to ban this lab-grown meat, right? And the reason why this is also so controversial is this is an article from the NIH website, right? And it says immortalizing cells for human consumption. You can see here this is also a company that produces meat, Believer Meats. You can see here what are immortalized cells and why do we use them. All right, so they use immortalized cells, which are cells that indefinitely replicate, and they make them in these big bioreactors. They're these big metal tubes, all right? And they start with some base of animal flesh, and then they put the immortalized cells in there, and they just start reproducing and copying the animal flesh, right? So the problem with this too, though, is that these immortalized cells are human cancer cells, okay? You can see here, this is from the NIH website, and it says, the need to produce immortal food relevant cell lines is one of the most pressing challenges of cellular agriculture. The field, which seeks to produce meat and other animal products via tissue engineering and synthetic biology. Immortal cell lines have had a long and complicated story. From the first recognized immortal human cell lines taken from Herietta Lacks, the HeLac, the cell line, right? That's one of the basis origin ones, to today where they are used to assay toxicity and produce therapeutics of the future, where they can be used to create meat without harming an animal, right? So Herietta Lacks is a woman that was a farmer around almost 100 years ago now, right? This was like 80 years ago. And she had this very rare cancer that would not stop. She died of this turbo cancer within like a couple weeks, okay? And her cells would not stop replicating extremely fast. And her cell line is one of the only cell lines that we know of that has this essentially endless duplication. You can see here it says, although work in immortal cell lines began more than 50 years ago, there are few existing cell lines made of species and cell types appropriate for cultured meat. Cells in cultured meat will be eaten by consumers. Therefore, cultured meat cell lines will also require unique attributes not selected for in other cell line applications. Specifically, cultured meat cell lines will need to be approved as safe for consumption as food, and these foods have been approved. There's multiple states and the USDA, multiple states are already selling these foods. This is a real company, okay? Believer Meats. You can see here, bite into the world's best meats. It's real, it's juicy, it's crazy delicious, it's cultivated meat for the taste you crave and the planet you love, okay? So this is already happening right now, and they use these immortal cell lines that come from Herietta Lacks. You cannot make this up. And these are human cell lines. So they're growing this tissue with human cells from this woman that had cancer. Right? I know this sounds crazy, but this is real. This is NIH PubMed article. All right, I've documented this a few times on my channel, and this is happening right now. And you can see here, this is Miss Herietta Lacks, right? And her cell lines are the basis of all these different treatments, okay? And even her family has been fighting in court to get the rights of her cell line because it was just taken. This was so rare. They've never seen this. This has never happened again. And these HeLac cells are the key to all these different medical researching that they're doing, right? And they don't even own her own cell line. They've been in court trying to fight to get the rights to her cell line because they just took it. The government took it because they've never seen anything like this, and she passed away very quickly from this super cancer that she had, right? And now they are using it. These that's what they call them, immortalized cells. What does that sound like to you? What is a cancer cell? Is a cell that keeps reproducing, unnaturally reproduces, and does not go under apoptosis, which is a fancy word for cell death, right? Your cells should be cycling out every 5-10 years. All the cells in your body should be completely new, right? You're always producing new ones, but some cells never undergo this cell death, and this is what's happening, and they're using it to grow food, right? So this is your wake-up call, right? And he's saying that they're going to try to use this to shut down food industry because they're going to say, this is so much safer, this is so much better, no animals, you didn't have to get rid of a chicken, right? You don't have to have a dirty chicken out here in the dirty chicken coop, right? And you still got your chicken, and you still got your egg, right? That's what they're going to say. And these ideas are already being pushed, and we need to say no. We need to say we do not comply to this garbage. And what is this going to do? People eating this stuff long term, what's it going to do to them? What's it going to do eating this stuff? And is this like some Soylent Green cannibalism vibe here? All right, are you picking that up too? Let me know down below if that's what you were thinking. Is this like Soylent Green? Did that cross your mind? That's the movie where things get so dystopian in this society, this like futuristic society, that they come and scoop people up off the streets because everyone's starving. So they just come scoop people randomly. Just when it's your day, it's your day. And people just disappear and they don't know where they go. They think they go to like a work camp or something. They're not sure where they're going. And they are turning people into these bricks. These Soylent bricks that people eat. And they're just eating people. And then the guy finds out at the end that Soylent Green's people, and he's freaking out. Right? So, is this what this is? Is this some kind of, like, are we eating in some form human flesh? Right? Not saying it is, but it's on the verge. It's really close. And I don't want anything to do with that. We need to say no. And we need to say, we do not comply. Sorry, I just had a chicken jump up on the computer. It's on the roost bar here. Alright, so they're like freaking out. They think this is like a new thing to roost on. My computer and my chair and my leg over here. So this is your motivation. This is your wake-up call, guys. Grow your own food like your life depends on it, because it's going to. This is the future they're planning. 15-minute cities, programmable cars, so your car will not leave the 15-minute city, all right? And then rationing, meat rations, food rationing, all the stuff. They're already talking about declaring an emergency for this. Biden is. I broke that a couple weeks ago now, all right? And he's been talking about it for 6 months. I made a video on that 6 months ago too. But they're saying they might really do it because they think it's going to help them in 2024. So we could see this emergency declared as well. And we could see all these restrictions. They want these 15-minute cities, right? You can't leave. Your car's programmed to not let you go. All your food is rationed. And attached to the CBDC, all right, the central banking digital currency, where everything's programmable. Everything you buy, sell, and eat is all programmed, so you can only have certain amounts of food, all right, and then that'll be your life. You'll just be locked down, and you'll get to fly in a plane maybe once every 5 years if you're lucky. You'll get a ration for that. All right, that's the things that they're talking about and setting up. And I've made multiple videos on these ideas being pushed, and this is one of the biggest one, is this lab grown meat. They think they're just going to shut down all the farms and have these bioreactors, these big metal tubes that they're just stirring it in, and they're putting like they're like feeding it. They got to put stuff in there too to like feed it, to like grow it too. Right? It's like a plant. They're like dumping fertilizer in there to grow it. Like they put a little piece of meat in there, and then they put these immortalized cells in with it, and then they put a bunch of like junk and a bunch of liquid and junk too to like feed the cells, and it's just spinning in this giant metal tube. It's literally disgusting. Literally makes me want to throw up. All right, sorry to be graphic, but that's the level that we're at here. This is disgusting and dystopian that they're even proposing anyone eat this. But this is the idea, and they think they're gonna shut down the chicken farms. You've seen all this crap going on with the birds, right? And it's affecting the cattle too. Shut down all the cows, shut down the chicken farms, get rid of farming. All this stuff, that's on the agenda, that's on the menu. That's why it's critical to be growing your own chicks, right? Have your own chicks. That's why it's not a big deal if a chick hops on the computer, because these chicks are going to be giving me eggs and meat very soon. I already have other chicks that are laying eggs every single day. They're a few years old. They're like 2 or 3 years old, right? And you can see here we got some, I don't know if you can see the color here, green egg, right? And here's like a pink egg. I don't know if you can really see the colors good, but you can kind of see that one, a little green, I think. This one's kind of blends in with the background. But green eggs and pink eggs. All right, we already got layers every day. And these girls are going to be giving us a ton of eggs and a ton of meat and a ton of chicks as well. So we can flood our community too with chicks. Get people chicks, get them hatching, get people chickens, and spread these ideas out. That's how we resist. That's how we... It's one thing to say, I do not comply, I'm not going to do this, but one of the biggest ways to win is to create alternative systems. If you're mad that the food supply is all poison, it's filled with this junk, it's filled with this crap, you're upset that the economy's in the freaking tanker hole, all right? It's in the septic tank, the economy right now. They say it's doing great, all right? They say the numbers are incredible, and freaking stock market's blowing out, all right? Apple just did a $100 billion stock buyback. Their stocks are freaking skyrocketing. Everyone's popping champagne, all right? But normal people are struggling. And the way to resist all this and to fight back from this is to build your own systems, grow your own food. And this stuff's not cheap, right? It's expensive to get these systems started. All right, it's not cheap. It's not like you're just going to be, all right, it's now everything's super cheap now. No, it's about sustainability. It's about building your own supply chains, building your own homestead, eating way healthier food. It's like, yeah, the food you get at the store is cheap, but it's freaking garbage. And it's not even cheap anymore. It's really expensive, right? And it's junk. It's garbage. It doesn't have any nutritional value. Most of it, the soil's literally dead and empty, has no minerals left in it for a lot of these major crops, right? That are just monocropped year after year. So you're going to be getting way healthier and way more dense food health-wise as well. You're going to be able to eat less food, and it's going to have higher density of nutrients. You can test it, even things like vegetables. There's things called bricks, right? There's a bricks system where you can test the sugars and the nutrients inside of your vegetables to see how dense they are. You can even get a little bricks meter. It's like a little tool that you can use to measure the sugars and the nutrients inside of your fruit and your vegetables. All right, so these are real things. Food density, all these things you need to, and you're gonna feel better. You're gonna have more energy, and you're also gonna have resilience and sustainability when these supply chains go under, when they start shutting it down. It's coming. They're already doing it in countries all over the world. The Netherlands shut down hundreds of farms, dairy farms, because they said it's not good. Farming. They're saying farming is bad for humans. These people they don't know anything, or they're evil, completely evil, or they don't know anything, because the world could not sustain 8 billion humans without farming, right? Most people live in the middle of a city, and these cities, civilization would not have been built. We were hunter-gatherers before we became an agrarian culture and society, and that's how civilizations are built, and that's how you sustain 8 billion people, is that you have farms, you have agriculture, you have excess food, you have more food than you need, and you can feed all your people and keep your people healthy and keep these systems going. It's a national security risk and issue, our food supply. All right, so be a part of the solution. The resistance is literally homesteading. It's literally having your own family, supporting your family. I have 3 kids of my own. All right, this is how you fight back. That's the resistance, is having big families, having big gardens, having big chicken coops, having a big truck so you can tow your big trailer and your big RV and tow your cows when you need to. Tow your cattle trailer and your horses. Tow your big horse. All right, that's how we win. That's how you actually resist. That's what I'm working on every single day. So if you appreciate that, you support that, please hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, guys. I'll keep you guys updated on all this big news that's happening around the country, around the world, because we're in it. We're in the thick of it. It's happening right now, and you need to crank it up, crank it into high gear, and double down on your prepping, on your homesteading, on your goals, getting out of the city. I know some of you guys that are listening are still in the city, all right? And I understand that. That's where the jobs are. That's where the money's at, right? I get it. Those are the economic centers, and they're being destroyed, and they're being overwhelmed right now. So you need to try to get out of them. Make a plan now to start homesteading and create your own food systems, because it might be it. One day it might be that's the only way you can get chicken or get eggs or get milk, because these systems have been shut down. Maybe there's some outbreak, something like that. Everything's shut down. This stuff's already happening and affecting our cattle and affecting our chickens. So thank you guys. Hope you have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.